sponsored by AICT AQIS. It has indeed been a very good experience in conducting technical sessions. So we are moving towards now the 17th technical session of this short-term training program. This technical session is on Introduction to Deep Generative Adversarial Network Models, popularly known as GANs. So we are going to learn this now in this session. So to conduct this session, we have with us Praveen Kumar Chandalia sir. Praveen sir has received his MTech degree at Malvi National Institute of Technology, Jaipur in 2014. He is currently pursuing his PhD degree in the Malvi National Institute of Technology, Jaipur, and working on R&D programs funded by the Government of India between September 2019 and November 2019. He was with the Pattern Recognition and Image Processing Group at Michigan State University, East Lansing, USA, under the supervision of father of biometric Professor Anil Kumar Jain. His current research interests include computer vision, generative model, and biometric. So I welcome you, Praveen sir, for this session.
Thank you for a nice introduction. I'm very glad to take this session.
Yes, sir. Over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to all of guys. The today talk is FACE. This is the third HTTP short-term training program organized by the AICT. The today topic is phase aging and alteration using deep generative adversarial network. The outline of this two session is the first. We discuss the fundamentals of convolution neural network. Before all this session, you cover this thing. I'm not going to detail in this basic concept of convolution neural network. I have mainly focused on the three important terms: is what is the convolution, what is the pooling layer, and what is the fully connected layer. And then the parameter of this one is filter size, then the paddings, and then stride concept is. Then my main intention to phase aging and alteration to work on phase dataset. So which dataset is available in market on private and public domain. We discuss this dataset, and then how to generate the data from real images, means synthetic image generation. This is a very popular topic. Last 5 to 6 years, all the research going on this topic. So first we discuss how to generate the images. So we discuss that 5 to 6 state-of-art model. Then if you're working on the phase dataset, you must be required to process this dataset, means pre-processing of your phase dataset. Pre-processing means to align and crop your dataset. We directly discuss, we not go for detail how to pre-processing is performed. We take the one state-of-art model. This one is MTCN, multitask convolution. We discuss this model. And then after we go for the autoencoder. Autoencoder, we have developed this program on three state-of-art dataset. MNIST, this one the grayscale image dataset, 28 cross 28. Then next go for the CFAR dataset. This one Canadian dataset. This one different animals type of dataset. We use the 10 class of this dataset, and then this one the size of this image size is 32 cross 32, and this one the RGB image. So have a 3 channel, and then this morph dataset. We have a purchase from UC Berkeley library. Then this we discuss our autoencoder on this morph dataset also. Then after this we go, what is the application of this autoencoder? I have developed the one model, ethnicity and gender alteration. We discuss this model and what is the architecture and what is the loss function of this model. Then in 7 point, those limitation of autoencoder we can overcome with the help of generative adversarial network, GAN. Then we discuss mathematics of this, what is the adversarial law, what is the discriminator, what is the generator, how these two network is complete to each other. Then last one we go for the objective function, and then technique mechanism used by the generative adversarial network. Then in 7 point we address what is the problem of generative adversarial network. Vanishing gradients, mod collapse. This problem we can resolve in our 8 point, means DC GAN, deep convolution generative adversarial model. This is a very stable generative adversarial model variant. We discuss and we develop the 2-3 program on this based on this DC GAN. Then on 9 point we discuss the application of this DC GAN. The two applications we discussed: conditional perceptual adversarial. This is the phase aging and rejuvenation model. The second is again phase aging and rejuvenation model. This 9, 10, and this is the development of model related to phase aging and rejuvenation. Then last we discussed the application of generative adversarial. That means where you apply this generative adversarial, not or where you develop your project or where you do for research in particular areas. The fundamentals of convolution network, all you are familiar. The convolutions, how to calculate the size of convolution layer. The convolution have a main 4 parameter is present. W, your input volume size maybe have a 28 cross 28 in the case of MNIST data set. What is the filter size? Maybe 3 cross 3, maybe 5 cross 5, 4 cross 4. Then the padding plus stride to move your filter from 2 stride, 3 stride, 4. Generally all prefer the 2 stride concept. Then last one is your bias concept. Then how to calculate the pooling size? The pooling size you can calculate with help of this formula. In the case of pooling, you never we have a parameter learning concept. Means your parameter is not learned in the case of pooling layer. Your parameter is learning in mostly 2 cases. The first one is convolution layer and the last one the fully connected layer. Then the parameter calculate W and then F. W means input size, F your filter, strike means this your pooling is not depend on your padding. Then plus 1. This is the basic formula. Please remember this formula. This formula is very helpful to implementation of any CNN based or generative or autoencoder model. If you familiar this formula, then you not face the difficulty to develop the autoencoder based programs. Then this one the simple architecture of CNN. This one our input have 83 cross 83. Then the layer 1, this one have a convolution layer. Then layer 2 have a pooling layer. Then layer 3 have again convolution layer. Then last layer 4 is again pooling layer. Then last layer is the fully connected layer. 101 is the number of classes. Then in the case of first convolution layer, we use the filter size is 9 cross 9. Then in the case of pooling, 10 cross 10. This way we use. How to calculate the size of each layers? I have in previous slide we discussed some formula. We apply this formula on each layer, then calculate what is the size of next layer. The first one, your input is on top of this slide, input W, the 83 is the input. Then filter is 9 into 9, means 9 have your filter. In this convolution, we not introduce any padding. The padding have a 0. Stride is only 1. What is the layer 1 size? The layer 1 size we have a calculate with help of the formula. This formula is this one is formula W minus F plus 2P divided by F plus 1. The 83 your W, F is your filter, P is your padding, 0 S. Put this formula, put this value into this formula, then you can get the 32 75 into 75. This 32 is the feature map. The actual size we get the 75. This one width, same way you can calculate the height also. Thus your size is 75 cross 75, or this one is the feature map. Number of different filter we use. This one the feature map concept. Then layer 2. The layer 2, this way you calculate the layer 1 size. Next layer 2 have a pooling layer. I mean the first layer output is your width have a 75. Then after first convolution, then the filter means 10 into 10 have a your pooling. The filter size is 10. We not use any padding concept. The padding is 0. As sampling represent your stride. Stride is 5. The size is this one is the your size. This one is your size. This way you can calculate. This one is WF 10 S means put 75, because your pooling is not depend on padding concept. We not use any padding. 10 5 plus 1. This one is your size of your pooling layer. This way is calculate. This one the 14 cross 40. Similar way you can calculate the layer 3. Means this one have a layer 3. Means the layer 3 input is layer 2. So this one is layer 2 input is W have a 14. Then filter have a 9 as padding and this S1. Then what is the layer 3? This layer 3 is this one pooling layer. So 9 cross 9 have a filter. You apply this filter on this means W means 14 minus 9 plus padding is 0, divide by 1 plus 1. You get the 6 into 6. This 128 your feature map. The next layer 4 is your pooling layer. This one is your pooling layer 1. Then this 1 cross 1 is your fully connected layer. 101 is your number of classes. These are the basic three building block of CNN. The building block was convolution, pooling layer, and then fully connected layer. And the next one we discuss how to apply. So before applying this, we discuss which data set is available in market, publicly or privately data set is available. The FGNet, this one is a longitudinal data set, means same subject have a multiple images. The 82 have a subject and 102 have a images. Then the image means per image, maybe some subject have a 6 image, 8 image, then means 6 to 18 image. The age range of this image is 0 to 69. The average range is this way. Similar way, we give all the demographic or statistics of this data set. In our presentation, we use the morph data set. This morph data set is not available in public. I have purchased this data set from UC Berkeley Library. Then subjects, the number of subjects is 13,000. The total number of images is approximation 55,000 images. The age range of these images is 2 to 53. This is the mugshot data set. I mean, this is the prisoner data set. Then range of image 16 to 77. The average range is 42. So we train and develop our model on this data set. If you want to develop, go for CACD. CACD, the publicly available data set. This one the celebrity data set. This one the in-wild data set. In-wild means this one is developed with help of web crawling concept. Means from NET or Wikipedia site or Bing, then Google search engine, they were collected. IMDb also have a wild data set. Means wild data set means have a lot of occluded face, pose invariant face, low resolution, high resolution images, not frontal faces. This type of data set known is in wild data set. UTK face data set. This is the if you want to work on ethnicity based, then go for UTK face data set. I have used this UTK face data set. HDB, AGF, ITWC. This is the child celebrity data set, and then last one CLF. This data set I have developed in my lab. Then we published a lot of paper on this. Develop this in the Indian child data set. The number of subject is this. Then images is this one. Then the age range is 2 to 18. This is the first data set in worldwide who have only the age range is 2 to 18 year old. Then average range is 8 years. Then how to generate next. If you're familiar with the data set, our next task, which model we can select and how to run our program or how to develop our codes. So have a different type of synthetic image generation model is present. The first, the father of biometric is Ya LeCun, who developed the autoencoder concept. In autoencoder, man, you have a two component, encoder and decoder. In coming slide, we discuss what is the autoencoder, how autoencoder is work on, how we can train or how which loss function we apply in all this basic concept we discuss in our coming slide. Then initial MNIST also developed by the Ya LeCun. This one to generate the synthetic image. Then after the autoencoder not have a properly generated, means blurry image is generated. Then this limitation is overcome by the variational autoencoder VAE. This VAE is mostly used in face alteration purpose. Then this limitation is overcome with help of generative adversarial network. This one is the Yann Godfellows developed. In 5 years, this is the most innovative concept in deep learning areas, generative adversarial network. And then Yoshua Bengio, these two main. Yoshua Bengio is also father of biometric. Then after this, based on these three different variant of this models is developed, like a conditional generative adversarial network. You use the CGAN, have a two again component, generator and discriminator. Then adversarial autoencoder. This adversarial autoencoder is the combination of autoencoder and generative adversarial network. Then but all first 4 have an issue related to mod collapse or vanishing gradient problem. All this problem is resolved by the deep generative adversarial network. If you want to work on generative adversarial network, please follow this slide. This slide is very helpful to how to start your generative adversarial network concept. Then this model is trained on different data set, and they will provide it. Go for search on Google and then find out which model is given which type of result. We discuss autoencoder in our coming slide. But before starting to develop the model, you must be required to crop your data or align your data set. Means suppose you require to develop your model on 128 cross 120 cross images. If you require to develop your model on 224 cross 224, Then because your initial input is not in same site, not in this site, so we require to pre-process this data set. So widely used one model, the name of this model is, this is the state-of-art model, the multitask cascade convolution network. In this multitask convolution, you have a 3 CNN network is available, the PNet, RNet, and ONet. The PNet, this cascading concept means first your work PNet, then the output of PNet move to RNet as input, then output of RNet move into the ONet. What is the process? The predict the candidate window means if you require to detect any phase from particular image, you create the different bounding boxes. So your PNet create the different type of bounding boxes on this image. Then pyramid means pyramid, this bounding box have maybe have a 16 cross 16 size, 32 cross 32 size, 64 cross 64, 120 different type of size window is generated on this image. Then this type of output known is the image pyramid, and this pass to RNet means this is the refinement of your bounding box, means find out the best bounding box where your the face image is maximum is covered. Then ONet means finalize the localization point. The main beauty of this multitask cascade convolution, this has only used the 5 landmark point. In this image, you see the 2 landmark, 1 landmark point, 2 landmark point on eyes, 1 landmark point on nose, and then 2 landmark point on lips. Only 5 landmark point is used. Based on this, they will crop this data set. What is the result of if you apply? This one is my input. These are the images from the MOF data set. This face is not aligned. Both faces after in first row, this one the input. After applying the MTCN multitask convolution, you get this output. This face is aligned. So this code is available on GitHub. You can use this and process your data. After pre-processing, you get this output. Means your eyes and your face is properly aligned. Crop and align purpose used for MTCN multitask cascade convolution network. Then next our aim is, if we have a data set knowledge, then we have a knowledge of related to how to pre-process, then how to apply our model on this pre-processed data. So different type of model have available: autoencoder, VAE, generative, CGAN, DCGAN, AA. This all type of model is available, but this all model is based on the one basic primary model. The name of this model is autoencoder. In autoencoder, we have a 2 concept is first have an encoder. Means what is the encoder? This encoder maybe have a fully connected layer, maybe have a convolution, or maybe have a deep convolution network. But what is the input? Input is your raw image, means input your real image, the input. This image size is 32 cross 128, 28. We discuss 3 size we discuss in our coming slides. 28 cross 28, 32 cross 32, then 128 cross 128. Means whenever your size is increased, then your model complexity is increased because the parameter is drastically increased. What is the encoder? Encoder convert this image into latent vector, means this latent vector have a simple linear vector, the compact representation of your image. Means we convert 128 cross 128 cross image into 50 vectors. 50 means only 50 value. Then how to convert this 50 to again image? Then go for the decoder. What is the encoder? To compress your data. What is the decoder? Uncompressed data. Means the encoder based on the convolution concept and decoder based on the deconvolution concept. Means upsampling concept. Means resize your image from a lower dimension to higher dimension. Then how our network is learned? Then we have a required loss function. The different type of loss function is available. Widely used, the 3 loss function is using this time. The L1 loss, L2 means MSE or MA. Then last, the widely used the perceptual adversarial loss. This perceptual adversarial loss is based on the pre-trained model. This pre-trained model you all familiar, like AlexNet, LexNet, VGG19, the variant of VGG19, and the ResNet, Inception. This use in loss function, means extract the features from particular layer and then back propagate it. What is the advantage? Means you convert your image to low dimension, then low dimension to again generate to new image. Means this image is not present in real time. This is the generated image. Suppose you require to create the Indian to Chinese people, you can do it. You not require the Chinese data set. Same reverse, if you require to generate the Chinese to Indian, you can do it. This one is the major, the simple primary application of generative this autoencoder. Then what is the problem? A problem is, suppose your latent vector is only 50. How do we convert 50 to again image generation? This is very difficult task. So means you lost your data. means your result is not have a properly generated, very blurry result, or have a lot of artifacts on. This is the major problem. This problem we can overcome in our generative addressing network. So first we discuss how to develop autoencoder based architecture. So this one, the first implementation on Colab, this autoencoder will not go for the direct on color images. First we go for MNIST, because all you are familiar with the MNIST dataset. The MNIST dataset is openly available. Each framework, like this framework is the TensorFlow, if this framework have a PyTorch, if this framework have a Keras, this dataset is inbuilt, is present. You can take this library, then download on your Colab. This one, our input, the input is 28 cross 28. One is representing, this is grayscale image. If three representing is your color images. Then first input pass to linear layer. This is the fully connected layer. If you multiply, so whenever you move into your encoder, then you convert this image into flatten, means a fully connected layer. Means 28 cross 28, you get the 784. This is the first layer. Then after we reduce the size of this fully connected, means go for 128. Then we go for the activation function. ReLU is the activation. You can use the LickReLU, eReLU, JReLU, different type of function is available. You can try to implement all this function and find out which activation function or which combination give best result. This one is the only hidden and trial method. I am using this time the ReLU. Then after go for 64, means first convert 784 to 128, then go for 64, then again activation, then 12. This is the encoder, means compress your image to compact representation. This compact representation maybe have a latent vector name, or maybe have a hidden vector, then or compressed representation. Then after 12 we get the 3 size, means convert 784 to 3. Then what is our next card? What is the decoder? To convert this 3 to again image, this concept of decoder, means encoder use the convolution concept and your decoder use the deconvolution or upsampling concept is. Then again 3, then 64, then 128, then image. Then last layer, maybe use the sigmoid or 10H. This one the variant. If you want to use sigmoid, then apply the sigmoid. I am using the 10H. Why I am using the 10H? The reason is very simple. The 10H range is -1 to 1 and the sigmoid range is 0 to 1. The overfitting is very main chance in sigmoid function. This reason I am not go for the sigmoid. I am go for the 10H because the range is -1 to 1. Then output, the result is blurry. How to implement? So next we first implementation discuss on Colab. First, okay. I'm covering each and every concept of this program. I'm explaining. The first, whenever you develop any program on Colab, hope so you all are familiar with the Colab. Colab which provide the 10.0 GB GPU concept. Background use the cloud related resources they were using it. First, you need to mount it. Means if your data set present in your drive, if you want to generate your result on drive, then your first concept is mount your drive. Then mounts concept is, then after mounting every programming, if you develop C, C++, Java, Python, you must be required to import your packages. Then this one is the standard packages to import it. I'm using the Torch. Torch is a very popular. The first framework, if you want to use, go for TensorFlow. Then go for PyTorch, then go for Keras. This time I'm using the PyTorch. I'm using it. Then Torch. Then one more thing is PyTorch is based on Lua. Then Torch Vision. This all the variable. This is the basic primary library to import it. This is MNIST because our model is developed on MNIST dataset. So this dataset is already available in Torch. So we use this. Then this one the save purpose. Then next step. First step is to mount your drive, initialization of your all packages. Then you create the input directory and your result directory, means where your data is stored. Means when we download this data from net and then we need to store. So this one have a data folder. Then this one the output folder. Then if you require to take any input, you require to normalize it. Then this one the normalization process, simple. Then the number of epoch. Suppose I initialize the number of epoch is 100. The batch size is 128 because this is the grayscale image. So grayscale image have only one channel, so I have the base size is 128. Then the learning rate is used for the optimization purpose is used. Then next one is next concept is to whenever you send any data to your encoder, then you must be transpose this data, because to convert your, because in grayscale image in 0 to 225 range, to first convert into tensor conversion means 0 to 1 range is convert. How do we convert? Then transform dot tensor is the one function. Then we normalize this. Normalization is based on the standard deviation. The standard deviation value is 0.5. This is the standard formula, normalization. Then this one have image transform. Then MNIST have a predefined class. This one have a predefined class. So we in this function, data means where we download our data set, transform, then convert this data set into normalization and transform, then download is true. This statement is automatically download this data set from particular websites. Then then data loader. This data loader have a iterator how to read our data from this folders. So this one we use the data loader. In data set, this one have a data set. Then page size means number of images per time we read is means 128. Shuffle means shuffle is better option, because every time you're training on same way, then your model is overfit. So you mention the shuffle means every time different type of sample is come from your folder. The shuffle is true. So first step is, again I'm repeating, if you're familiar with this program, then I'm not face difficulty in coming slides. I mount it. Then initialize all your packages. The folder is cache. Then normalization process means this data is downloaded. This way you are Yalikun who developed this model, MNIST, this all have a train test, this data set is available. Then next, our model architecture. Our model architecture have a this. First we go for encoder, how to encoder is work. What is the encoder input is your MNIST image, 28 cross 28. Then have a layer is 784, 128, 64, and then 12. First, how to design this encoder. So we have this simple implementation. This one a predefined class, the name of your class, and dot module have a one library. Means lot of function is available, how to weight initialization, how linear means all neural network related concept, how back propagation, this all the API is present and module to be extend it. Similar to extend, this one have a your init method. Then this one the encoder architecture. All you are familiar with Keras, and similar have a PyTorch, you have a sequential function. What is the first layer? To linear layer means linear have a fully connected. Your input size is 28 cross 28. So first convert this 28 cross 28 means 784 to convert this thing into 784 to convert into 128. Then after have a ReLU function and dot ReLU. Then 128 means this one have an input, this one the output means input channel and output channel. This one have an input 128, then next have a 64. Then in between have a, after this have a ReLU function. Then 64, then you have a 12 channel. Then have a ReLU, then 12, then 3. What is the 3? Have a your compact representation. So this one have a your encoders. So with help of this function, linear layer have a fully connected. ReLU have a your activation function. So with help of this, we design our encoder. This very simple encoder. We not use any convolution concept. This time we only using the fully connected layer concept. So this one encode means convert this 28 cross 20 image to only 3 values. This one have a 3 encoder. Then next, the input of decoder is this 3. What is the input of decoder? Input of decoder is this 3. Then this 3 is converted into 28. Then next go for 12, then go for 64, then 128, then go for 784. Then this 3 to 12, then 12 to 64, then 64 to 128. Then ReLU. Then last one have a again means 128 we require to convert into image. This one have a image size. Then after we have an activation function. This activation function have a 10H function. So this one have an encoder architecture and decoder architecture. So means first we compress this data into 3, then decompress it, means again perform the decoder concept. The encoder means to compress your data and the decoder means uncompress it. Then forward, this method is automatically called. What is the input? The input of encoder is your image, means 28 cross 28. Then channel is 1. Then the number of batches is 128 cross 128. This one is your batch size. The first one is your batch. Then maybe sometime is channel, then width and height. This one is your input. What is the output of encoder? The encoder output is X. This X is 3. 3 is your latent vector. This one is. Then this X is the input to decoder. This one have a decoder call. Then what is the return? This one have a generated output. This one your encoder. So first we design this autoencoder. Then CUDA means our program is running on GPU. So we, with help of this CUDA, we convert it. Then what is the loss function? In our slide, we have a loss function is MSC. MSC is the loss function. So go for the loss function. This one have a predefined loss function is available, NN dot MSC square. We need the optimization concept like a SGD, ADAM. The widely used the ADAM or SGD optimizer or ADA is also using. So optimization concept is available, torch.optim.adam. Then the parameter, what is the optimizer? Your optimizer update your weight and bias. Means if you have a familiar with neural concept, have a two main thing, weight and bias. So we require to update according to loss function with help of this optimizer. Optimizer is ADAM. Parameter, then learning rate. The learning rate is 1 exponential 3. Then weight decay. This one I'm not going to internal concept of ADAM optimizer. This one the optimizer. So we run this. Then after this one is we need to run our program. So means you familiar with the epoch concept and iteration concept. This one have a model architecture. For better, 784 is input, output is 128. Then bias is true. Then ReLU layer for activation function. The next layer is your 128. Then 64. Then ReLU layer. Then 64. This one, how to print? Simple. You can print the model, or one summary method is also available. This one have an encoder. Then what is the output of encoder? Have a 3. What is the input of decoder? Have a 3. Then 12, liquid ReLU 12 this way. Then last layer is 10H. Then what is the output is 784. This one the image. Then we require to fetch our data from our model. Then data loader, number of epoch. The number of epoch I'm using here is the 100 is the number of epoch. Data loader, this one have a data loader. Means this data loader have a one container. What is the container? Means in this MNIST data set train and test and images is available. This time I'm only using the train data set. So we fetch this data set batch by batch. The size of batch is 128. So this one have a data loader. This data loader. So fetch this data. This data, the first data means 128 images and then label. So data, then this data loader convert your images into tensor. This have a your tensor concept. This tensor convert into 0-1 form. Means image in this form and then 0-1 form. Means we have an array concept. Simple array form is available. 28 cross 28 array is available. Then image. Then what is the input of encoder? Flatten layer means linear layer to 784. How to convert this image? This image have a 28 cross 28. The image is 28 cross 28. We need to convert into 784. So with help of this view function, you convert it. -1 means -1 means all the base. Means 128 have a base size. All these images into convert into this form. So this one have a 128 linear vector. The size of each linear vector is 784. then convert into CUDA, then model. What is the input of your model? This will have your model 1. Then model input, this is model autoencoder, the object of this class. Image, what is the image? The image is 128, then channel is 1, and then this one is converted. So for better understanding purpose, 7 to 4, this way. Your image, then criteria, this have a loss function MSC. Whenever you apply all framework like TensorFlow, Keras, PyTorch, Tiano, Lua, all the things internal do the back propagation. For back propagation purpose, the step is first before back propagation, we need to set the gradient is 0. You must be set the gradient is 0. Then loss is backward. After you set the loss dot backward, this is a predefined function. Then optimizer step to update the optimizer pair. What is the optimizer? After training, first epoch means our input to encoder, then have a compressed representation, this compressed to decoder, then have a loss function. Then this loss function is between your input and output images. This one have an output image, this input image. Loss function is calculated. What is the optimizer? Based on this loss function, this network is back propagated. For back propagation purpose, we have use these 3 lines. Then after back propagation, we need to update our optimizer. For optimization update is this way. Then update, then we need to save our result. So this one by run. We run this image, then this image is stored in particular folder. This have a save method. I have constrained it on when epoch is 10, then this image into convert, and then the image save pick. This one our pick one is this image, this pick means output convert into CPO. This one have a output. Then this image into store in this MPL folder. Or this one, then this last statement is to save our model after completion of 100 epoch. Then loss is decreasing. You see that the loss is decreasing epoch by epoch. On the 10 epoch, we get this result. So I have saved this result on 10. Then this one is data folder. This one is MNIST data set. This one is downloaded it. This one is our MPL folder. This one is MPL folder. This one our first epoch. Then this one is running. I have run 100 epoch. Then loss is decreasing. This way. This one the MNIST. Then this one have a 120 the base size. So this one have 128 images. I have a form of the grid. Then 120 image show. Then after 10 epoch means on 20 epoch, again result is saved. This way, this one the not real image. This one have a generated images with the help of the autoencoder, or our autoencoder this time have a fully connected layer. Anyone any doubt? Hello? Are you following me or are you facing any problem? Because this concept is very important. If you're familiar with this concept, then we not face any difficulty in coming slides. Hello, sir? Hello? Hello? Audible? Hello?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Sir, any problem in concept
No,
related
you are
to
audible, sir.
autoencoder? If you're getting any query related to participants, because this is the basic concept. If everyone is familiar with this concept, then we not much face difficulty in a coming 3 hour session. Otherwise, it's very difficult to deliver this talk. Everyone is familiar with this concept because this one the simple autoencoder concept. Then I'm in coming slide, I go for the convolution based, then deconv, then deep things related. This one have my epoch result, epoch 1, epoch 2, epoch 20, then 50, then 100. When you run this, what is the problem you face? The problem in result, this one have a grayscale image, but very blurry result is generated. How to we can overcome? So we discuss our next coming slides. Then next one is, this time we discuss this program on simple concept on MNIST dataset. Our next tab, how to introduce the color images, means how to go for the 3-channel RGB concept. This time image size is 28 cross 28. Then next our slide based on the CIFAR dataset. This is the Canadian dataset. This one have a 2 type of dataset available in the market, 10 class or 100 class. I'm using only 10 class dataset. This one have a different you use this data set for classification purpose also. Airplane, automobiles, bird, cat, deer, dogs, fox, horse, ship. This different type of classes of animals is present, or automobiles type of class is present. My aim of why we go for this data set, this one have a only 32 cross 32 cross size image data set. And one more important thing, this data set have a 3 color images, means color images. Our next, how to generate this data set. In our previous slide, we go for the MNIST. In our previous slide, we use the MNIST data set, means grayscale. This time we move on to generation of image on color images. Color images. So this one have a autoencoder architecture of our CIFAR data set. But in our previous program, we use the fully connected layer. But this time I'm not using the fully connected layer. We using the convolution and the deconvolution concept, because autoencoder not using for fully connected purpose. Autoencoder mainly used for the convolution, because in our previous result we saw that the result is very blurry because we use the fully connected layer concept. So this time our autoencoder architecture is based on convolution and deconvolution. What is the convolution? To compress. And what is deconvolution? Uncompresses. Means first our CIFAR data set input, then we compress this data set and then again convert into image form, means synthetic image generation. So this one have a same loss function I'm using is, but this time I'm using the new image to image translation network I'm giving to this time I'm discussing. This image to image translation not have a compact representation. This one have a some like have a 4 cross 4, 3 cross 3. You stop your encoder results and then again process this encoder decoder from this 4 cross 4 to 32 cross 32. The next implementation on CIFAR data set. Our autoencoder is 3 convolution block and 3 deconvolution block. This way result is coming, previous program. This way. Then next one is CIFAR data set. First again you mount it. This is the primary step. This have an initialization of your packages. This one widely uses. Then use the random seed. Random seed means whenever you run your program different time you get the same result. Then this reason preferable to use the random seed concept is. Then next same dataset directory check if available to create. If available, then not required to create is. If not available, then create it. So exist is simple concept. Then print the autoencoder. Same autoencoder is again available here. Then input variable convert into CUDA, means as your input variable. This one have an autoencoder. What is the first layer? The input size. This one have a CIFAR input size batch. The initialization parameter is the batch means maybe 32, 34, 64. Channel, this time channel is first one have a batch, then channel. Channel this time I'm using the 3 channel. That's width and height of this one is 32 cross 32. In previous program we use 28 cross, but this time we using 32 cross 32 have a color image. Input and then output is same. This one have an encoder. What is the encoder? In our previous we used the linear layer. This time we using the con 2D concept. This con 2D concept is related to convolution. Then what is the convolution? Your channel, input channel is 3 because this one have a RGB image. Then your convolution 12 means what is the number of features? You have a 12. Then 4 is your filter size. In our first slide we discussed this thing. In the case of convolution, this parameter you require W have input, filter, padding, and S. The same concept we using with help of one predefined function. This predefined function is con 2D. Con 2D, the input channel have a 3 means 12 your output channel. 4 is your filter means 4 cross 4. Stride is 2. Then padding is 1. In the case of fully connected, we not require this stride and padding concept. This reason n dot linear is not using this parameter. Then after convolution we go for the ReLU layer. Then after this 12 is the output feature map. 12, then 24, then filter is 4, then 2. What is the stride? 2. The initial my size is 32, then stride is 2. If you put this formula means 32, so the formula is 32 minus filter size is 4, then plus padding is 1. The padding is 1 means 2 into 1. Then divide by your stride. Stride is 2, then plus 1 for bias. When you calculate, then you get the 16 cross 16. So this one your first convolution output. Then this output is the input to second convolution. Then next one means this 16. Means next time this one is 16 minus 4 is my filter plus 2 is 2 into padding. Padding is this time again 1. Then stride is 2. Then plus 1. So this size is moving to 8 cross 8. This way is calculated. Then next one is again convolution. Then means 8 minus 4 is my filter size plus 2 is my 2 into 1 means 2 is padding is 1. This one have a your padding. Then stride. Then divide by 2 plus 1. Then you get first you can get the 16. And next you get the 8. Then you next get the 4. Means 16 into 16. This way. I am only calculating the weight for width. Similar, you can calculate the height. Then next one is 4. This way. If you go for next level, if you apply one more convolution, then go this way. Then your output is 4. In our previous program, we convert our 28 cross 28 into 3. But this time we stop at 4 cross 4. So this one is our encoder output. Then what is that in decoder output? Decoder input is means what is in the case of decoder we need to upsampling it. Means this one have a encoder is behind. Any problem? I am again repeating this encoder concept with help of the convolution. 3 convolution block. In the case of convolution 1, the filter size is 4, padding A is 1, and then stride is 2, and then after have a ReLU function. Then con 2 have again. Con 2 have a your 4 filter. Filter size is 4. Then padding same. So this 3 convolution block in this program. I have also mentioned the size. You can get how to implement this convolution architecture. Then after this, then this one the convolution means compression. Then next one the deconvolution. Deconvolution is implemented with the help of con transpose 2D function. In this case, we need to resize it. Means this size to resize. Means resize matlab again convert this con to con 1, deconvolution 2, again convert our size to output size. Our output size and input size is same. Our input size is 32 cross 32. Then output size again 32 cross 32. How to convert this 4 cross 4 to 32 cross 32? So we go for the deconvolution concept. So this one have a deconvolution. This one have a 48. This one have a 48, 48. Then 4. Then strike to this one is internal using the bicubic. This bicubic algorithm is internal using by this con transpose bicubic or nearest neighbor. All algorithm you learn in your data image processing paper. The con transpose internal using this bicubic algorithm and the nearest neighbor concept. With help of this, the size of image is increased from lower to higher. Then next second con transpose. Then this way means first this 4 into 4 size convert into 8 cross 8, then 16 cross 16, then convert into 32 cross 30. This one have an output. Then strike these two padding this way. So this one have a encoder based on convolution, then our decoder based on the deconvolution, means con transpose function. Then encoder. What is the encoder input is? Encoder input is this one is your encoder input. This one have encoder input. Then output of this one is the output of decoder is the output of encoder this way. Then this one your input of encoder, this one the output of your encoder. Then this is your input to decoder. This one is decoder input. Then this decoder is called con transpose, con transpose, con transpose. I'm not using the 4 layer because this take this take lot of parameter. When we are train this model, this take lot of time. Then encoder and decoder. This one show purpose. Create model, same. We need to download this CIFAR dataset from NAC. This one is available in every framework. CIFAR torch we done CIFAR 10 classes. This 100 classes also level. In folder this dataset is download, train, then data loader. If you try to test it, then use the test model also. Then number of classes, one by one I'm running this. If you check this thing, okay, this way is result is coming now. Previous program result improving, loop epoch by epoch this result is improving. Then the loss is decreasing in previous program. You see that the loss is decreasing. Initial have a 0.20, then this decreasing this loss 0.2. I'm closing this program because we need to GPU here also. This one our encoder or encoder and decoder. Hello. Data set is downloading. Then need to download this data set. This train data set iteration purpose. This make the grid to store our result in the form of grids. This grid is related to base size. Images, the autoencoder input is images. This one have a autoencoder. This one have a autoencoder concept. This all is the input. Then decoded images, then we need to store it. Then the loss function is binary. This time I'm using the binary cross entropy. Then Adam optimizer I'm using it. Then train to read our data loader. Train only we using the train data set. This input. This one have a binary. All these 3 steps, same step we're doing in our previous program. Then save this result. This one have a encoder architecture. See that convolution, convolution 2, ReLU and convolution 2. This one our encoder architecture. Then After this one have a decoder architecture. This one have a my MNIST dataset. Initial 10 images I have fetch it. Then this my loss function is started. This CIFAR dataset is Toronto based dataset, 10 class dataset. Automatically download. This dataset is download with help of this function. With help of this function, this dataset is downloaded. Then we need to run this. So we initialize the loss function. This time I'm using the binary cross entropy loss function. Then this one have our optimizer, Adam optimizer. Then load this input data, then input to encoder, to decoder. Then loss function. This loss function is between your output image and your input image. This loss function is calculated. Then we need to update, means backward is this way, backward is loss function is this way. This way is result. If you go for color images, then please no go for the fully connected layer. Color images is never be generated with help of fully connected layer. If you want to generate the synthetic data of color images, then go for the combination of convolution and fully connected layer. The result is coming. Because this time parameter is very large parameter. At the last I'm explaining how to calculate the parameter of your models. This one is result, reconstructed result. This way. This one the synthetic data generation. And this one reconstructed after 5. This one. This one is again simple concept of autoencoder. This convolution epoch 1, epoch 20, epoch 16, then 100. If you run this program, I have run this program approximation 3 to 4 hours on my GPU on my lab. Then I get this result. So this way means this time you have a RGB image. In RGB image, you have a different type of aeroplanes, vehicles, and animals is present, have a lag generation, eye generation. How we can generate it? For better understanding, go for the face data set. How we can generate my eyes, how we can generate the nose formation. To go for the next concept is how to generate the face images with help of deep convolution autoencoder. I'm not using the simple convolution based autoencoder because this is very difficulty to generate the face images with help of simple autoencoder, means fully connected or convolution based. Our next aim is to generate the face images with help of deep convolution autoencoder. Deep means in our previous we have only 3 layer. I'm using this time I'm using the image size is 128 with 128. Then channel is 3. This one have my architecture. I have developed this model. This architecture, if you need to find out in very detail, please go this paper. I have very properly explained this diagram in my paper. What is the encoder and decoder? Same, we using same encoder decoder, but the parameter is very large. The size of input is 128 cross 128, not 28 cross, not 32. Parameter is large. Then latent vector size. Then this one have a decoder concept. I'm using the upsampling concept. The 1, 2, 3, 4 have a convolution block. Then have a latent vector. Then again for upsampling, then the output. Then loss function I'm using this time with the MSC loss function. Then I have abbreviate all this input, this color representation, convolution, ReLU, then linear, fully connected, upsampling, 10H, sigmoid. This all abbreviation those I am using in this model. I have explained detail by this all model I am explaining in my next next Colab program. Anyone is getting or not getting? I have confused. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
I would request participants to ask question if you have any doubt. You can write question in chat window also.
Sir, I'm developing this program to because a lot of question is coming. This one is epoch by epoch. I'm running this program, autoencoder and decoder on 30 till 32 cross image. I have developed it. And next I'm going to 128 cross image. It means a lot of parameter. The architecture is very complex architecture. If you're familiar with this two program, then you not face much difficulty in coming program. Otherwise, you definitely face the difficulty. So, any question related to this autoencoder, decoder? I'm again repeating. The autoencoder means you design encoder concept. This encoder maybe have a fully connected base or maybe have a convolution base. Then your decoder is based on fully connected or deconvolution based concept. Means encoder to compress your data or decoder means to uncompress your data. So first we reduce the size of our image. Then next we again convert this reduced size to image. The output and input and output size always have a same size. Then you can calculate the loss function. Otherwise, you never apply the loss function on different size. Because my input is 28 cross 28, then my output is again 28 cross 28. Then we can calculate the MSE. MSE means the pixel by pixel you can calculating the loss function. So this way I am running this program. This way your result is improving. Only my base size this time have a 16 is my base size. This region my grid is only 16. If you increase, if you have a your GPO is 24 GB or have 128 GB, then you increase the base size. Then next this way my loss function is decreasing. Can we move for the next slide or any question? Sir, so please check the chat window because I am developing this code and I'm simultaneously moving different tabs on my screen. The very question. Sir, any question? Or hello?
Yes, sir. I have asked participants to write question in chat window.
Yes, sir. If you
forward, sir.
Check the test chat window, this is very helpful to me because I am simultaneously managing the code and PPT. So this is very difficult to see the question many times. Please, sir, you can check this question. If you find out anybody's asked question, please stop me then ask this question same moment, sir.
Right, sir. So we can move forward, sir.
Yes, sir. The next, again, first my focus on grayscale. Then next on color image, but the size is very tiny images side. Then this time my size is 128 cross. We start working on the next autoencoder. This is not autoencoder. This is the deep convolution based autoencoder. Means we have a lot of layers in our model. The parameter is very large parameter sizes. We start working on this next concept. First, I'm explaining this diagram with help of one MS Paint. Those who's not familiar with still convolution and deconvolution, at least is familiar. I'm starting. I have drawn this thing is before to start this presentation. Not utilize much time. Okay, this one is my concept. This one architecture. This is one my paper is CPA DA conditional perceptual adversarial autoencoder. I'm using this concept in phase hedging. But from this diagram, I'm extracting the autoencoder concept and explaining to you. You can get the idea how to design the models. I'm only one architecture. I'm explaining to you autoencoder architecture. So this one have a encoder or decoder. This C means convolution. This again deconvolution. The first one, this encoder have a your input image. This have a, the size of input image is 128 cross 128. Then this one my input size. Then for here I mentioned and is the feature map and representation of feature map. Feature map is the number of different filters. So first I'm using 64, then next go 128. This is the standard way to develop the model. Many times initial those researchers face the problem how to select the filter size. 32 linear, 64 linear. This is the standard way. 64, 128, then 256, then 512. If you have a more layer, then go 14024. But your model size is very large. Means one convolution means you have a 1024 filters. This is very large filter, or one filter have, then kernel size is, the filter size is, I'm using the filter size is 4 in my architecture. Then the stride is 2. This is the initial structure of each layer. And convolution, then next second convolution, con 1, con 2, con 3, con 4. The first convolution, the input size is 128, then filter size is 4. Stride, I'm not, suppose stride is 0, plus divide by 2 plus 6 plus 1, then you get you get 64 is the output of this one. Is same way con 2, same way con 3, then con 3, that is con 4, sorry, this one is con 4. So first I'm applying on 128, then get the output is 64, then get the output is 32, then channel is increasing. Factor 2, my channel is increasing. Then my image is decreasing by factor 2. This one the standard concept to develop the encoder architecture. Your feature is multiply by 2. Like if you start for 64, then next one is 128, your feature map. Then next go for 256, then next go for 512. And in the case of image size, you decrease factor by 2. Initial my image is 128, then next after first convolution my image is 64, then next convolution my image is 32 cross 32, then next is 16, then next is 8 cross 8, then this 8 cross 8 I have a convert into 50, only 50 values. Means initial I have a this much values, 128 cross 3. This thing is converted into 50. This Z is known in the latent vector. This is compact representation. The 4 convolution block I am using is the image size is decreasing by 2, and then feature is increasing by 2 factors. Then this one have my latent vector. Then my next task is how to convert this 50 value to image. Then go for the decoder. Then in the case of decoder, we use the deconvolution, means resize your image. The resize using bicubic interpolation concept, using then using the nearest neighbor concept, is using different type of concept is available with help of image size is increasing. So we not required to focus on this algorithm. We use direct predefined function of particular framework, like have a con transport 2D, upsampling, nearest neighbor. This is the inbuilt function of PyTorch. With help of this, we increase the size from 50 to 128 cross 128.3. This is not possible. You can apply one deconvolution and get this size. How do we go for that? 4 deconvolution. So deconvolution 1, our size upsampling, then again deconvolution 2, then deconvolution 3. My size is increasing factor 2, and then my feature map is decreasing. So you see that in the case of encoder, your feature map is increasing and your size is decreasing. But in the case of decoder, your size is increasing, means image size is increasing, and your feature map is decreasing. This is a very important concept related to encoder and decoder architecture design. Then next one is, this parameter is not one day task, 2 days. You take 2-3 months continuously, then find out which feature map is provide better. If you do R&D, then you not face difficulty in deep learning area. If you say I apply, my result is not coming, never become this result in 6 months and 1 month. You must be apply different combination and then stabilize your network. This is the stable network is. Then generated image. So my generated image output is 128 cross 3. Then my input is 1. This is the major. Then we can apply the loss function. This maybe have a BAC, binary cross entropy, L1, L2, or perceptual loss function. Same model architecture I have a developing with the help of Colab. So this encoder means for convolution, the filter size is 4, feature map is increasing factor 2, image size decreasing 2 in the case of encoder. So first I have a go for encoder concept. display my result. I'm closing this program. If you want to check the final output of this one, but this take time. This way your result is generated or your loss is decreasing. This one is previous. Or when your loss is stabilized, means you have a facing problem, you are required to decrease your learning rate. The next concept is oh, this one is okay. This time I'm using the data set is morph data set. This morph data set I have purchased. My lab is purchased this data set. This data set is not available in public domain. This one the mugshot data set means prisoner data set of African and US people data set. Then this one have a first mount your drive. After mounting your drive, you can check CUDA is available or not. I'm using my MNIT account because I have a lot of space on this. Then availability of CUDA is check. Okay. Better you check here runtime environment. Change runtime. You must have a GPU runtime environment. Otherwise, your code is running on. Oh, sorry. First, I need to run this. Okay. Then, what is the latent vector? I'm using this diagram. The latent vector is size is 50. This one is my latent vector size. 50 is my latent vector size. I'm using this 50. The 50 the initialization of latent vector. I'm not using this class concept this time. Do not use this. Then number of channel RGB 3 channels. Then I'm explaining this 64 encoder related feature map concept F for feature map. Then decoder feature means how I can increase my features, multiplication of 64 and then the division of 64s. Then image size is 128 cross 120. This is the initial parameter. Then the root directory of my data set. I have already this data set is not available on net. I have upload this data set on my drive. Then this one the output directory where my result is generated. This one the random. This random sheet is only one concept. Your output is generated. Always have a same result is generated. Then the base size I am using the 64. Then first, what is the first to mount your data, to import your packages, initialization of your parameter like image size, feature map, number of channel. Then next to read your data, read your data, and then process pre-processing on this data set. I'm this data set only process with help of MTCN. I'm not processing this data set here. Then resize. If your image size is different from 128, so you need to resize it. Then convert tensor. Tensor means your color image is 0 to 255. With help of this tensor method, I have convert this image to 0 to 1. Okay, this is the range, not 0 to 1 range. Then in our previous we using the grayscale image, so we use the only 3 values or 1 value. I'm using the 3 value because this one have a related to your RGB values. Generally, people is using the 0.5. This is the standard one. I'm using for our model purpose for beautification of our images. I'm using this values and load this data set. The root directory. This one the root directory 1 by I fetch it. This one have a transform. This transform means on data I apply the tensor and normalization concept. Then data loader directory. This one have a data folder. Shuffle means my image is not come in sequential, randomly is come. Otherwise my model is learn it because my model is run 10 days, 20, then same type of images sequence is coming, then my model is easily overfitted. So how do we can overrun? The shuffle is one concept. Lot of concept is available for to stop the overfitting is. Then base size, and then last one is the drop last. Suppose my base size is suppose number of, what is the meaning of drop last? I'm explaining this. Suppose the number of images of my data set is 200. Total number of images. Then the base size is 64. And 64 first batch, then 64 second batch, then third batch have a 64. Then remaining images is, that means 200 minus then the remaining images I not want to use it. Then drop last is true. Means this images is not used it. Then convert into integer form, image size, output size. This is the loss function. I'm write down the all loss function. Generally I'm using the L1 loss. If you want to binary cross entropy, this cross entropy MSE, this is the loss function to convert into CUDA. Then next we design our encoder. First we design this encoder architecture. This one have an encoder. First convolution, number of channel is 3, feature is 64. Then filter size is 4. Then stride is 2. Then padding is 1. Like that. And 64K is 4, S is 2. The input is 128. The same thing I have using this. Padding is 1. Then true. Then after next concept is ReLU. So this indication is my ReLU function. This one is ReLU. So this pink color, this color is indicating your ReLU function. This ReLU. This is the first convolution. So for your better understanding purpose, the channel is 3. Then the feature map input feature is 3. Output feature of this convolution is 64. Then the filter is 4. Then stride is 2. Then padding is 1. Okay. Then ReLU. Then next one is, this one is input channel. Input channel. Then output channel. Then K is your filter, S for stride, T for padding. Okay, you get this. Then next one is next convolution. This one is 64. Output is 64 into 2. 128. Remaining thing is same filter. Then next one is 128. Then next one is multiply by 4. It's 256. Remaining thing is same. Then next one is 512. Oh, sorry, 256 is my input. Then output channel is 512. This one is my encoder. Then next one is this encoder. Then this convolution 4 is convert into my latent vector. The latent vector is 50. So next, how we convert it? Means fully connected layer. Fully connected layer is used with help of NN dot linear function. The input is this way. Means this way. 64, 8 cross 8. 64 is the batch. This 64 indicating batch size. Then 8 after this 4 time convolution. The first, after first convolution, your image convert into 64 cross 64. Then next time my image convert into 32 cross 32. Then next time my image convert into 16 cross 16. Then next time my image convert into 8 cross 8. Okay. Then 8 cross 8 image and 64 cross 64 cross image I need to convert into 50. So we need to linear. This one my total size. Flatten it. So with help of this linear, I have a flatten and then output is 50. And Z is my latent vector. So this one is my encoder. Oh, sorry. This is encoder. So we get the 50. What is our next task? To convert this 50 to image, so go for the decoder concept. So I'm going for decoder. So our input, this one is your input. For part input, this one is. The next is decoder. You can please see this architecture. I am printing this one encoder. This one the encoder, kernel, stride, filter. I'm explaining all here. All the things in block in this cell. Then the output of this cell is this. This is the feature. Then this is the output feature. This output feature means 50 is input to decoder. This is my decoder. In decoder, we use this time in our previous program, we using the con transpose 2D, but this time I'm using the upsampling nearest label. The scaling factor is 2, means image size is increased by 2 factor. First, then linear. So next our architecture is decoder. First I'm explaining the decoder. This one is decoder. So first this 50 value is convert into this form. Then this linear vector convert into this upsampling. Then this way, then this, then this, then last one is my image size. For this purpose, I'm using the upsampling concept. Upsampling by 2 or internal, I'm using the nearest neighbor concept. This is widely used concept in deconvolution. I'm using same thing here, nearest neighbor. In the case of nearest neighbor, they were using pixel by pixel location and j. To convert 50 to this form, then linear, then deconvolution. This is the deconvolution. Scaling factor 2. In this case, in the case of decoder, my feature map is decreased by 2. Here is 512 is input. The output of this feature map is 256. Then I'm using the kernel size is 3. Then padding is 1. So input feature, input channel, you say that, or feature, you say that, both have the same things. Then output channel, then kernel, then padding. Okay, this first convolution. Then upsampling factor 2, then upsampling factor 2. So this time my image convert into the last output is 8 cross 8. So this 8 cross 8 after first upsampling factor convert into 64 cross 64. And next convert into feature is this way is my feature. Feature is 256 to 512 3. Then this image convert into upscale means increasing. So this convert into 32 cross 32 image size. And next upscaling third, this convert into oh sorry, I'm doing the mistake here. This one is 128. 128 64. Then this one is 64 cross 64. This one the image size, generated image size. Then last one, the channel is 3 because I have a RGB value. Then filter, same concept. This one is convert into 128 and then 128. This one is, then lastly is the 10H function. So this one is my decoder architecture. Okay, this one I have explained this decoder. Any question here? Hello, any question?
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in decoding phase, we again generate the same image, whatever we have encoded it.
Again, repeat your question, please.
Sir, in decoding phase, we can generate the same pixel size image what we have input during encoding phase. Is it right, sir?
Yeah, in the case of encoder, we compress our image, means convert into small dimension. Like in this program, we have a 50. Then next 52 again convert into 128 cross 128 cross 3 size. So go for the upsampling concept. Upsampling concept internal using the nearest neighbor or bicubic. This one the another part. Those who working the segmentation related thing on super resolution related thing, they were answer very properly, but internal using this algorithm. So with help of this algorithm, we increase the size of image. Why we increase? Because we need to back propagate of our network. How we can back propagate? We go for the loss function. What is the loss function? Is MSE. What is the MSE? Pixel by pixel comparison between your input image and output image. If your input image size is different and your output image size is different, then how we can calculate the loss function? This reason the output and input is same. So input is reduced, then again up with the help of decoder concept.
And sir, this is specifically used for the regression type of problem. But in case of classification,
Synthetic generation, I'm not going for the. If you want to go for classification purpose, I'm coming in generative addressing network. You can use this model as a classification purpose. Okay. Or if you want to use this autoencoder as a classification purpose, so one more thing I'm suggesting, you use one fully connected layer or like SVM, you can use it fully connected layer, the last layer of your autoencoder, then classify it. But autoencoder generally not used for classification purpose. If you want to use, then you can use this way.
sir, in which phase we need to use that fully connected layer, sir? Decoding phase, sir.
When your model is stabilized, when your model is trained, you get this data, you upload this model. Then after you apply the SVM or linear model, then you can classify it. Means generated model, you can classify this class, this image is belong to which class. But autoencoder concept is not recommended for classification. This is synthetic generation.
Sir, another doubt, sir. Batch normalization. What is the role of batch normalization during?
Batch normalization to stabilize my training, because my network is very vast or very depth network. If you not use the batch normalization, then your vanish means your mod is your training is not stabilized training. So batch normalization used for stabilize your training purpose in the case of very deep models. In our my previous yes.
Sir, what about the calculation during batch normalization? Is it affect to the total trainable parameters or not, sir?
Definitely, this depend. But when you use the batch normalization, your model is fast trained. You remove this batch normalization from this concept autoencoder, then you test it. Then your model is very slowly trained it. When you apply the batch normalization, your model is fast trained. This one more observation I see, that at the time of applying the batch normalization or not applying the batch normalization concept, main to training stability purpose or to train your model in fast way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. The next one is. Sir, can we go ahead or we need to take break? Hello?
Sir, we can have a break now and we can restart at 2 o'clock, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Because I'm starting same, I'm explain this architecture. Then I'm some part of encoder decoder. I have explained it. Then the next topic is generative addressing network. So I'm finalize this topic, means I run this topic. Then I'm explaining the generative addressing network, because this thing takes time.
Right, sir. So we can have a break. We can rejoin at 2 o'clock now in that case.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I'm ready for 2 o'clock.
So I extend my sincere thanks to Praveen Kumar sir for conducting a session, technical session on day 6, session 2. So now this session will be continued along with generative adversarial network also in session 3 of day 6 of short-term training program on image processing and its application. So you all are requested to join back at 2 o'clock after lunch break for the last session of the short-term training program. After the last session, the link of quiz and feedback will be provided to all the participants. after the last session at 3:30, it will be available on chat window. It will be available on WhatsApp group, and I will mail also, so that you can take that quiz. That quiz is of 60 minutes. So it will be open at 3:30 and will be closed at 4:30. Thank you very much for your participation. We will
Okay,
join at 2 o'clock. Thank you, Praveen
Okay.
sir also.
Okay, sir.